Did I say that already? The most delicious chili that is a whole food plant-based chili, and it's easy as pie or easy as chili. Give me a second. I'm going to actually turn my camera so you can see. I'm going over here in my drawer that has all my microwave stuff. And this is the dish that I'm going to make it in. It is a microwavable glass dish. And I will, by the way, everything that I use today that is available for you to purchase if you want, I will put a link so that you'll know exactly how to get it. Hey, Ty. I am so excited to be here. I couldn't figure it out on my laptop, but we'll have to talk about how to make that work. So if you're here, please give me a shout out, say hello, tell me where you're watching from, and I will get started because I want to show you how darn quick this is. Okay? All right, so and by the way, I will put the recipe in the show notes below so you'll have it. So if you don't want to take notes and you simply just want to watch, that's fine. I'm going to start by continuing to do what is called mise en place, which is where you gather all your ingredients and you can put them in little dishes and you just have everything ready to go. It's not just for food, the Food Network. You know, you want, when you're cooking at home in your own kitchen, you want to be organized. You want to have all your ingredients ready. You don't want to be rushing around and find that you're 2/3 of the way through the recipe and then you realize that you don't have one of the most important ingredients. So it's really important to gather everything and put it into little dishes or in little bowls and do what's called mise en place. If you're watching and you're able to do so, I'd love to have a comment from you and let me know where you're watching from and whether you like chili. I used to hate it. I used to hate chili. I don't know why I used to hate beans, but now I love them. Hi, Bryson. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Glad to have you here. Okay, well, Ty loves chili. Yeah, chili is really delicious. You can certainly make it in whatever fashion you want. If you are a meat eater or a chicken eater, you can make your chili with those ingredients. For me, I am a very passionate whole food plant-based cook, and I love coming up with recipes that are going to knock off the socks of anybody that eats them. And to be honest with you, when I made this, I wasn't quite sure. It was the first time, and then I tried it and I literally could not get enough of it. It's so delicious. And the fact that you can make it in the microwave and have it be done so fast, well, I mean, what better way could there be to make something when it's quick, fast, healthy? You have leftovers. You can eat it over potatoes. You can eat it over rice. You can eat it over nothing, just plain. You can literally just, you can do it over sweet potato, white potato. Can you tell that I'm excited? I am really excited about this. All right, let's get started, shall we? I'm going to turn this down a little bit so that you can see more of my cooking area and you can see what I'm doing. I'm still here. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, I'm looking at my recipe, is I'm going to show you what I have for ingredients because I want you to understand what, I'm going to go back here for a sec, what I have. This is, does anybody know what this is? You can hear it. It's a little crunchy. Any ideas? Hi, Lori. Nice to have you here. I'm waiting to see if anybody knows. Take a guess what this is. It is a plant-based protein source. I can tell you, Lori knows. That's right. How did you know? It's TVP. I buy TVP by the bunch, and it comes in a box with 4 packages, and then I put 3 of the packages in the freezer. I like to make sure that it stays. You know, if you leave grains and stuff that's dry like that, to be honest, not to be gross, but you know, you can, you know, you never know what, well, bugs, let's just say bugs. Okay, so put it right in the freezer. And I keep the rest of it, one of the bags goes right in here. I know this is probably backwards, TVP, but that's what it says. It doesn't say 9VT, it says TVP. All right, so we have my TVP, and I also want to tell you that when a recipe has the ingredients listed by weight, I think it's a really valuable thing to make sure that you do that. Yeah, Lori, I needed to practice it too. It's still a fairly new ingredient for me, but I have found that it works really well. I put it in oatmeal, and when I first thought about putting it in oatmeal, it kind of grossed me out, like TVP and oatmeal, but it literally disappears. The texture kind of is similar to the oatmeal when it's all cooked together, and there's really no flavor. It's one of those ingredients that takes on the flavor of whatever else is going on. Makes sense, right? So anyway, I want to get back to when recipes call for ingredients that are, and they give you the weight, I think it's important to try to adhere to that, because those weight measurements are there for a reason, especially with baking. Even more with baking than with cooking. So I have my handy dandy scale, and the cool thing about this scale, which is in my Amazon store, by the way, is that you can zero it. So in other words, if I took this, and I'm going to show you how cool this is. I'm going to turn this down. You can see it, right? Right. If I took this and I turned it on, and right now it's on 0. If I put this bowl on it, it's going to weigh the bowl, and the bowl is 146 grams. But if I want to weigh my TVP, I don't want to weigh the bowl. I want the bowl itself I want the scale to go down to 0. So I'm going to press 0, and I wish I had one of those cool overhead cameras like they do on the Food Network, but trust me that right now the scale says 0 grams. And if I put this in, which I'll do, now, I already measured it, so it should be exact. And the recipe calls for 115 grams. Okay, if I were really, oh, and it is. I was going to say if I were really picky, I'd make sure it's 115, and it is, in fact, 115 grams. So now I'm going to take this off. And so there are a number of other ingredients, like, for example, this jalapeno. The recipe calls for 9 grams, I believe. And yeah, no, I'm sorry, 15 grams of a medium jalapeno, de-seeded and diced. So I will take out the few seeds that are in there. So anyway, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it aside. Tell me if you like chili. Are you a chili person? And if so, yes, Lori, interesting to oatmeal. If you're a chili person, tell me how you most like to eat it, like plain or with onions chopped on top of it, or over a potato, or over pasta, or over rice. What's your most favorite way to have chili? All right, I'm going to keep going. And please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. All right, so we have, oh, you know what? I did forget one thing. So I'm going to go over here into my pantry, and I am going to get this taco. This is a taco seasoning, and I've used about 1/3 of the package. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to add it to the recipe because I like it on the spicy side. Okay, Ty says in a bowl, he likes to eat his chili in a bowl, sour cream, shredded cheese, and crushed. Ooh, I love that idea. So, you know what? I'll show you that. I make my own oil-free tortilla chips. And what I do is I take corn tortillas and I brush on some lime juice, and then I add some chili type seasoning, or sometimes I'll add this taco seasoning to it. And then I either bake them or air fry them. And then when they're done, they're crispy. You heard that, right? And I'll usually cut them into pieces. I didn't do that this time, and I keep them in one of these silicone bags, and they stay nice and crisp. Okay, I'm going to take a little detour and just tell you something that I did today, and then I'll come back to the chili, okay? I made these scones today. Look at these. They're walnut chocolate chip cranberry with a little taste of, they're sort of like amaretto-ish. They have a little bit of almond extract in them, and they're kick-ass. Okay, back to the chili. Lori says, I love chili with a little cashew faux cheese sauce on top with green onions. Yum. You know, I don't, Lori, if you go, when we're done, if you go and you look at my videos, not the last one, but the one before that is my faux cheese sauce. And it's a really easy, delicious recipe. And you're reminding me that that would be good on my chili. I think that would be great. As a matter of fact, the next time I make it, I'm going to freeze it. And then I saw somebody do this and I thought it was a great idea. It's cheese sauce that's pourable. But what I'm going to do is freeze it and then grate it. So it'll be kind of like cheddar cheese in a way, but it's plant-based cheddar cheese. Yeah, they're really, really good. All right, next ingredient. So I told you about the TVP. I told you about the jalapeno. Then there's a bunch of seasonings: garlic powder, chili powder, smoked paprika, some yellow mustard, and I'm gonna add, as I said, this taco seasoning, just for the extra little oomph of the seasoning, the spiciness. And then it calls for crushed tomatoes. So I have a can of crushed tomatoes right here. And it also calls for water or chicken stock, or in my case, it would be vegetarian or vegan stock. And then it calls for pinto beans and salt. Now, I'm going to tell you that one of the things that I teach when I teach people how to cook is to learn how to become confident enough to make substitutions. Okay, so in this case, I want to tell you what my substitutions are. I do think it's important to try to make it the first time exactly as the recipe calls for. And then you can, after that, you can choose to, adapt it. In my case, because I'm a seasoned cook, when I made it the first time, something was amiss for me. So I made substitutions right away from the beginning. And I want to encourage you to learn how to do that. And that happens just by trial and error and doing a lot of cooking. So I'm going to get and by the way, literally this takes 5 minutes to put together, but because I'm doing this live and we're talking and chatting, it's going to take longer. All right. I'm going to encourage, if you're watching, I invite you to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and make sure you do not miss any of my content, because well, it's fun to have this community. It's fun to do this together. It's fun to help other people learn how to eat healthy, and that's my goal. All right, so I have my microwavable glass bowl, and this is a company called Any Day, and they have these great containers. They're glass. They come in different sizes, and it has a lid. Really great, and this is the large one. In the original recipe, it sounded like it should be in a smaller one, but because I'm adding more liquid to the recipe than the recipe calls for, I'm actually going to use the larger one. Okay, so let's get started. Here's what I'm going to do. And if anybody has any questions, I mentioned this earlier, please ask. I do not use any oil, none, zero, zip. I don't believe in using oil because it adds calories and it's way high up on the calorie density chart, and I would rather get my olive-y taste from olives, and I'd rather eat my calories in food that I can chew that has fiber in it. The fiber is really good for your belly, it's good for your intestines, it's good for all the things that ail you, and you're not going to get that from oil. So that's really the biggest reason. And I did not start eating this way until 6 years ago, and I'm 70, so do the math. So many decades I ate oil, and I do not eat it any longer. You can if you want. Feel free. You can adapt this recipe. It actually calls for a tablespoon of oil, but I don't eat it. So I'm going to start by just going to layer the ingredients in. I'm going to start by taking the TVP, which is, does anybody know what TVP stands for? Hi, Lazaro. Anybody know? I'm going to pour it in and see who knows what it stands for. There's the TVP. Then the next ingredient is the jalapeno. So I'm going to take this jalapeno, and let me move the celery, and textured vegetable protein, exactly. But what kind of protein is it? Do you know? What type? Really, this is a test. What type of protein is it? I'm going to come back. Oh boy, there's a lot of season here. You know, a lot of the heat of the jalapeno is in the seeds. So depending on whether you want it to be super, so it's soy protein. That's what it's from. Textured vegetable protein is soy protein. I suppose there are other types, but I know the kind that I use and that I've been aware of is soy protein. Okay, I'm going to turn this down so you can see what I'm doing. I want to make sure, can you let me know in the comments, can you see what I'm doing here with my ingredients? I have this half of the jalapeno, and I am going to take out the remaining pieces of the innards because I want it to be spicy, but not so spicy that I need a fire extinguisher for my mouth. So I'm cutting it up fairly thin strips, and then I will take those strips and I will cut them. I will dice it basically. All right, so here we go. And that's gonna go in next. Let's see if anybody, yes, you can see fine, terrific. Okay, Marletta approved. Oh, Marletta, excellent, Marletta. Marletta is one of my YouTube buddies, and glad that she is approving it. She's also a fabulous cook too, so if you can, Marletta, you should put your, and Ty, anybody that's on here, you should put the name of your YouTube channel so other people can find you. All right, next. So far we have TVP, the jalapeno. I'm gonna now add the seasonings. Oh, no, I'm not. I take that back. I'm gonna show you this really cool tool that I have. This is made by Xylus, and it's a string chopper. The way it works is it has this triangular sort of handle. You put food in it and then you pull it like this, and I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you in real life how it works. And it's a game changer. If anybody chops anything, whatever, for salad, for casseroles, whatever, this is a really great tool. I'm just gonna sort of roughly chop my carrot. Now the recipe, by the way, does not call for carrot at all, but I wanna add some vegetables. I wanna add more flavor and more fiber to my recipe. So I'm adding the carrot, I'm adding some peppers. I'm just gonna roughly chop them, put them right into the string chopper, and wait till you see the magic that happens. Even if you're a casual cook, it's nice to have tools that help you do your job more efficiently. And I think that this is one of those tools. Okay, I'm gonna take my cutting board and move it, and I'm gonna show you how this works. Put this on. So you saw, right? I have this is the the blade, the peppers and the, what was the other thing? Oh, and the carrots are in here. I'm gonna put this on, and now I'm just gonna pull it. I'll pull the string. And I'm gonna be careful to not chop it too much, because I still want it to have some texture. But there we go. Look at that. It would have taken me another, who knows how many minutes to do that. And here is the blade. So in it goes. And there are lots of companies that make string choppers. I actually have another smaller one, but this is my favorite one. All right, I'm gonna take my cutting board back. Now, anybody have any questions? Let's see. Meal ideas for high protein but not soy. Recently learned I'm allergic, which is a bummer. Thank you. Found your channel recently and made your cheese sauce. Ooh, okay. First of all, how did you like the cheese sauce? Let me know. And second of all, it is a bummer. I wonder if you can grow out of that soy issue. I wonder. I'm taking the onion and I'm going to chop that in the little chopper. Thank you so much for finding my channel. I'm so glad that happened. I love making new friends on Instagram, and especially people who want to learn how to eat healthy. And I'm a stickler personally for me, but I'm not for anybody else, not even for my husband. Everybody has to make their own choices as to what they eat. And it's a free country. Well, at least now it's a free country, but don't let me get into politics. That's not probably what I should do. Okay, I'm going to take this onion, and you can see I cut it into pieces, and I think I want more than that, so I'm going to take this. Let's see. It was delicious. Great idea adding the instant potato. Oh, you mean the what do you call it? The flakes. You use the flakes. Isn't that brilliant? I told you in the video that I couldn't take credit for it. It was something I learned from Healthy Vegan Mama, and she's fabulous. She's on all the socials, and she is really brilliant. Okay, you know what? I think I need somebody to become if I'm going to do these, I need somebody to be my moderator so that I can pay attention to cooking and somebody else can moderate the comments, although I love taking the time to look at it. Okay, so now I'm doing the string chopper with the onion. Okay, now it's being a little finicky. Let's see why. I don't know why. I think sometimes things get stuck on it. I'm going to see if that makes a difference. There we go. Okay, how's that? Take a look at that. Right? Perfect. I think that's all I need the string chopper for. So I'm going to take the blade out to remove it, and in go the onions. Okay, so next. Now, I got the extra veggies. That was not in the recipe, but I wanted to add them, so that's great. If I had more time and I were really motivated, I might saute the vegetables on the stove, and oh, my eyes are watering, and then add them just to, when you saute them, it gives them a little bit more depth of flavor. But I wanted to show you how quickly, if you want to get something on the table, how quickly you can do this. All right, next is a garlic powder, and this calls for 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, I'm doing a heaping teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then it calls for chili powder, and it calls for, let's see, 1 teaspoon of chili powder. So I am going to do a heaping teaspoon of chili powder. And the reason I'm doing a little bit more than what it calls for is because I've added vegetables, carrots, peppers, and onions. And I really want to make sure that the flavorings, the seasonings, there's enough volume of them to get the entire, plus I'm also going to be adding more liquid and more tomatoes. And you know what else too? I forgot about this. Oh, I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, never mind. I'm going to now do smoked paprika, which is 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. And if you've not discovered this spice, this is just killer, this spice. So I'm going to do a heaping teaspoon of smoked paprika. Love it. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard. So now this is going to be hard to do because there's a lot of it mixed down at the bottom. Well, let's see if I go like this. A little bit more. Okay. Great. All right. Anybody have a question? I'm going to take a moment and check the comments and see. Yeah. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Next, I am going to add. Now, this calls for either a cup or 200 grams of canned, diced, or crushed tomatoes. So I'm looking at this crushed tomato can, and it says 425 grams, and the recipe calls for, what did I say, 200 grams, so it's a little bit less than half. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the whole thing in, all right, and then I'm going to put a little bit of water in here. I might end up using that. but let's keep going and we'll adapt as we need it. Now it calls for 2 tablespoons of water. My notes told me that that wasn't enough, so I added 2 cups of water. So now we're starting to see the bowl is or the container is filling up. It calls for 70 grams. Let's do some weight, shall we? I'll get my scale and put my bowl. I'm going to 0 it. Okay, it's 0, and it calls for 70 grams of canned pinto beans. Now, what I did, instead of the pinto beans, I did where did I put it? Is it here? No, oh, here it is. This is what I used. Instead of all pinto, I'm using a combination of kidney, pinto, and black beans, because why not have a little bit of an assortment? Okay, so let's remind ourselves, 70 grams. So I'm going to weigh it out. And that's a little bit more. That's 95. But I'm going to go with it, okay? And you didn't see me do that, I don't think, but I did add them to here. And my instinct, because I added more water, was I'm going to add all the beans. And again, this comes from being a seasoned cook that I can do that. And I'm going to add a little tiny bit more water. That was probably about a half a cup. And then it calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to also add some pepper, even though it wasn't called for in the recipe. And another thing you could add, which I think would be good, would be some sun-dried tomatoes. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to have this. And then remember, I still have this. And if I were not talking, this would have come together super, super quick. Oh, I didn't open this. Okay. I thought it had been opened, but this is a carnitas organic taco seasoning. And it's used for pork, but there's no pork in this, so I'm just gonna actually give it a shake. Make sure that all the ingredients are well mixed. Then I'll measure it for you so you can see. I usually would just pour it in. Okay, I'm gonna do, this is a half teaspoon, so I'm gonna start with that. I think I'm gonna do another half teaspoon, a very generous half teaspoon. And I'm gonna mix it all up. Okay, that's it. How good does that look? And how easy was that? I know I was talking, so it took longer, but honestly, we're like a 5-minute job here. Okay. I don't know, my instinct is to do a little bit more of this. I want it to really be spicy, but not too spicy. Okay, now I'm gonna take this, and this is the part you're not gonna believe. First of all, I think I changed my mind. I have this out, so why not put this over here. I'm gonna go back to my veggie chopper, and I'm going to take this, oh, you know what? I need to put I feel sometimes like Julia Child. I can be a messy cook, but you know what? At the end, as long as it tastes good, I am going to wash this another piece of celery right here. And I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just cutting this into pieces. Anybody else a messy cook like me? Okay, and I'm gonna get the string chopper lid and put that on. And then that's good. That was, I think, 4 pulls. That was it. Okay, see how it came out? And in it goes. I just thought celery would be a nice touch. I wonder if anybody has any other ideas for what might be a good addition. Not that we need anything else. I think it's nicely, it has enough variety in it. So let's see. Pea protein. You could use pea protein as, instead of the PVP for sure. Now, in my opinion, this feels to me like now I've got it pretty well seasoned, but I feel like it, if I had some red wine, you know what, I'm gonna look and just see if I have any red wine. I don't think I do. I have white wine, but I have no red wine that's open. So I'm just gonna add, this is my instinct, I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Like that. I'm gonna add one more thing, which is, if you don't know about California balsamic, this is the best, most amazing, and they have a gazillion flavors. This one is called Sweet Heat, and I'm gonna put a little bit in here. California balsamic, I'll make sure that this gets in the, I don't know, it's about a tablespoon, I think. I'll make sure that I put the link in the show notes once this is all posted. Okay, that's it. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is cover it. Now this took me, this was about a half hour. That's how much we are into the video, but it really only took me, if I didn't talk, it would probably take me between 5 and 10 minutes at the most. Okay, I'm gonna pull this piece, you can flatten it, it's good for storage, or you can lift it, and it allows some air circulation in there. And this calls for, let's see, cook in the microwave for 5 to 6 minutes, and my notes say that 6 minutes worked. So I'm gonna go put this in the microwave. Over here, and this is the kind of thing that you could put together in the morning. If you work outside of your house, you could put it together in the morning, and then you could get home, and while you're taking your coat off and getting the kids, if you have kids or whatever it is that you do, you can just throw that sucker into the microwave, and 6 minutes later it's done. You won't even have enough time to make a salad. That's how quick it is. So Nora, I am just seeing you on here. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much. Let's see. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, because I'm trying to build a community so that more people learn that cooking healthy is within our it's right here within our fingers, within our hands, and it just takes learning a few tricks. That's all. And if you wait just another probably 5 minutes, I'm going to take it out of the microwave. And the only thing I could think different is that because I really added almost twice as much liquid, more than twice as much liquid, and the vegetables, maybe I would have done it for 8 minutes instead of 6. Maybe, I'm not sure. But for now, what would be helpful would be to know from you, what do you need? Where are you finding that you need help in learning to follow a healthy lifestyle? Where do you need help? Let me know in the comments. Because if I can help you, then chances are so many of us are so alike. Whatever you need, probably somebody else needs too. And if I can produce content that will not only help you, but other people, Rome was not built in a day, but little by inches. My goal is to just help as many people learn how to eat more healthy and to eat in ways that support our living not just a long life, but a healthy life. What's the sense of living a long life if you are not healthy, right? So, and now I'm looking at the recipe, and some of their suggested toppings are, when it's finished, is diced onion, chopped cilantro, which I have, avocado, which I have, which would be great, a dollop of sour cream. I make a vegan cashew cake, sort of with chili, the green, what are they called, like hatch chili peppers, and it's so delicious. I've made it a million times for company, and yeah, it's vegan. It's not dairy, but it does the trick. It's creamy and it's really delicious. So sour cream would be good. You can serve it, it says, over a baked potato. You could top it with steamed vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, which don't knock it. I think it would be good. I think cabbage. And I think I said earlier, we talked about baked potato. I think it would be good over a sweet potato. I think it would be good over, if you're trying to eat lower on the calorie density scale, you could take zucchini and you could spiralize it, or you could cook up in your Instant Pot or on your stove a spaghetti squash, and that comes out, if you've never had it, it comes out of the spaghetti squash like in strands, like pasta. And if you don't want to do it totally, but you want to sort of cut some of the calories, you can do half of the zucchini noodles or the spaghetti squash, and then the other half could be pasta. So you can mix it up, right? There's no reason why you can't be a little creative and inventive with your recipe. So let me tell you that today's a crazy day because we are leaving in about 4 hours to go to down to Boston, and then in the morning we are going to fly to, well, no, not in the morning, but like in the early afternoon we're flying to California. So I have a very supportive husband who could have looked at me like I had 3 heads when I said I was going to do a live, because I really should be packing. But I don't have much to take. We're bringing everything on board, and it'll be easy. And I'm more interested in making sure that I have some of my condiments that I bring with me, because the people that we're staying with, our kids, they are not on board with plant-based eating, and although they're healthy and they try to eat healthy, they don't always have everything that I like to eat. So I'll probably bring some TVP in a little bag, and I'll bring some I don't know what else. I'm open to ideas. I'll definitely bring food for the plane, that is for sure. Let's see how many minutes is left on the we're at the very end, 55 seconds. So I'm going to get my, I definitely need to get new ones of this. And I'm going to I'll take you over with me, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you my really cool microwave. And so come on over with me to here. Okay. And I'm going to turn you down because it's about to go off in about 20 seconds. And I'm going to show you. We'll look at it together and we'll see if it's done. I think it will be, but if it's not, I will just put it in for another maybe 3 minutes. But how cool is that to be able to have a dinner on your table in 3 minutes? And if you really, really make this and you really love it as much as I love it, there's no reason why you couldn't make 2 or 3 times what I made, and then freeze it, and then defrost it and cook it. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's see. This is a microwave drawer instead of a countertop. It's under the counter. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Put this over here. Yum. Now I can see that the carrots aren't done, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to taste it first though. Oh my God, it's so good. It's perfect. Perfect in terms of the flavor. So I'm going to take it, and I had a little bit of a hard time with this. Once it got hot, it's a little hard to... So I think I'm just going to use it as is. Again, I literally made probably twice as much as I made the last time. So I'm going to put it back in, and I'm going to put it in for another 6 minutes and let that go. Then I'm going to bring you back over here. And what I want to do is I want to finish this live with letting you see the finished product, which you almost see. It just needs a little bit more cooking. And I'm not sure. I know there are still 5 people on here, but tell me who's on here so that I know that you're on here, that's all. And if there's anything special that I can do, leave in the show notes to make sure that you have everything you need to make this recipe. By the way, it calls for ground beef. I use TVP. So what I'm going to do with this now is once it'll cool by the time we're ready to leave, and I'll take the whole thing and I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator, and it will be fine for until we get home 6 days from now. It'll be absolutely fine, and we'll eat it over the course of a few days between the two of us. This is a great scale made by Kitchen Gurus. It's in my Amazon store. And the cool thing about this recipe is, like I said, by the time it's done in the microwave, you could clean up and have your dishes are done. So Trish says, I'm here. Terrific. Glad that you are here. Really delighted to have, there's 7 people here. So yay. For my first time going live officially since I really started working hard on my Ellen's Healthy Kitchen channel. This is the first time I've gone live, and I think I'm going to go live every week. Probably not positive. Maybe at a different time. I'll see what people want. But Wednesday at 3 o'clock generally is a good time for me to go live. Does anybody have any questions about either being vegan or being whole food plant-based or oil-free or starting your journey? And I tell people there's no such thing as a dumb question. They're all good questions. I started 6 years ago, and I had no friggin' idea what I was doing. I had to learn by trial and error. And trust me when I tell you that I made a lot of things that went into the garbage that were not great. Bye, everybody. Bye, Lori. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, a lot of trial and error, a lot of trying to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. There was a time when I did not like TVP because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to handle it. But I have since learned, like I told you, I put it in my oatmeal. I put it, I've done it in pasta sauce, which is kind of similar to making this chili. There's a lot of possibilities, and it's my next favorite thing after soy curls. And if you've never tried soy curls, that's another really delicious option for plant-based protein. And I buy that by the case. I get 6 bags from either the company, which is called, I'm blanking on the name of the company, but they have it on Amazon too. And I buy it and I freeze 5 of the packages. And then the other package I put in my upstairs freezer, and I'll go through that, in the course of about a month or so. It makes great faux chicken, if you even want to think about it that way. It's just a great substitute for if you're making really any. I make a southern fried air fried soy curls that are crispy on the outside because I dip it in corn meal, so it gets really crispy. It's really quite delicious. So anyway, there you go. I am hoping to be able to add the show notes when I'm done today, but it depends. I think I better pack first and make sure that I'm ready to leave the house. I have a meeting today at 6 o'clock with my YouTube group that we are all working hard on learning how to best serve our audience, and you are my audience, which is why I want to know if you need any particular help and anything I can serve you up here on my channel. I want to know. Trish says, I started in 2019 too, but I haven't lost weight because I eat whole food plant-based and then eat things I shouldn't. It's so frustrating. Trish, I hear you, and my heart is with you. It takes a while to learn how to do this. So that was 5 years ago. Maybe you need a coach, and I do coach people. And or maybe you need to do something like, for example, I'm going to be hosting in the next month or so, I'm going to be hosting a 10-day challenge where with other people like you who want to eat whole food plant-based. And what I would say is to go to my any of my other posts and make sure that you sign up for my newsletter, which you get 3 free recipes, salad dressing recipes, plus you'll be on my email list and you'll be sure to get notification because I only have limited spaces in the challenge. And so that's another thing you can do. And what I tell people is start small. Don't expect to be 100% successful, compliant right from the beginning. It's hard to do that. Start small. Start with breakfast. Or if you don't even want to call it breakfast, start with the first meal of the day. Do that for a month. Do that for 3 months. And once you feel like you've got that under your belt, then start adding other meals. All right, let me go get the, don't go anywhere. I'm going to go get it out of the microwave. And we're going to see. Wouldn't it be terrible if I spill this? That would be really awful. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to turn you down so that you can see. And I do, Trish, I recommend breakfast or first meal as a good place to start. That's where I started. And once I realized that oatmeal was what I needed to do and my way of eating oatmeal, I have lots of quite a number of videos on my channel about that. Okay. Oof, that is hot. Let me get the spoon. I suspect it's done because now it's really steaming hot. Well, let's see. Now check this out. Is that not gorgeous? Oh my God. Okay. Let's give it a taste and see. Perfect. Perfect. One more taste. Ooh. I think I might have gone a little overboard with the onions, but that's okay. Now, for because I really added a lot more liquid, I'm gonna cook it again for another 5 minutes. So I want to see if I can get the carrots to be cooked more through. But in the meantime, this is fine just the way it is. So anyway, do let me know if you have any more questions. And I'm so glad that you are here helping me. I hold you all tenderly to my heart because you are all of you helped me feel comfortable doing my first YouTube Live. And my goal is to do them weekly. So thank you again for being here. And I'll see you hopefully next Wednesday. I'm going to try. We get back on Tuesday, so I'll give it a try. If there's anything you want me to do a live about, let me know. You can also find me on Instagram as well. And thanks, Ty. That means a lot. You can find me at Instagram at Ellen's Healthy Kitchen. And you can find me at my website, which is kind of still on, it's available, but it's still under construction. Or you can email me at ellen@ellenshealthykitchen.com. Trish says, my meals are delicious, whole food, plant-based. I know what to do, but then I eat high calorie density foods. Someday I'll get there. I'm going to tell you one thing. This is going to sound crazy and maybe a little counterintuitive, but green vegetables have something in them called thylakoids. thylakoids. And those thylakoids are, I think that they're a hormone. And what they do is they help to flatten or diminish your cravings. And that's, if you're not eating enough whole food, plant-based, nutritionally speaking, you are going to want to eat more. No wonder. Okay, so, and you might make the most delicious meals, but if you're not eating meals that are giving you the nourishment and the nutrition that you need, you are going to be hungry and you are going to have cravings. And I can recommend you read a book called The Pleasure Trap. I'm totally blanking on the author's name, but just look it up. It's a book called The Pleasure Trap. And that's what it's the Pleasure Trap. It's about eating pleasurable foods that don't really give you what you need. Okay, so just take a look at that. borrow it from your library, borrow it from Libby on your, your digital library, or buy it from a local bookstore. And see if that doesn't make a difference. But you're not alone. I'm with you, and I know that it's hard, and you just have to keep trying. Don't give up. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye if I can figure out how to do that here. Oh, I see the X. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll talk soon, hopefully next week.